What's up, party people? My name's Chris, and I'm a bookaholic. Just want to talk about a couple of books that I recently found on a little bit of a thrift store extravaganza. And, so it's a bit of a book haul, but nothing huge. It's not my normal acquisition. So let's just start. The House Across the Lake, Riley Sager. I in my mind, there's a part of me that's thinking, do I own this book already in paperback? And have I already shared this with you? And if I have, I guess if I have this already, the paperback copy will make it up on the Pango account that I have. So it's not a loss. I mean, I got this pretty cheap, so I don't know anything about this. In fact, maybe the only reason I bought this is the cover, which is, again, I mean, I feel like, is that legal to buy a book based on only the cover? And I'm going to go with, yeah, of course it is. But on the back, this Alex Michaelides, who did The Silent Patient and The Maidens, he says, The House Across the Lake is the work of a master storyteller. Okay. A Hitchcockian premise. By the way, say Hitchcockian 3 times, and you're transported into a different place. All right, so premise is given an exciting new spin as voyeurism, murder, and the lies we tell ourselves about our nearest and dearest spiral out of control in this gripping mystery where nothing is what it seems. I had a thrilling time reading this. An unputdownable page-turner. He was probably on a deadline, so that's why he couldn't put it down. When people say unputdownable, I think to myself, first of all, is that a word? And then secondly, I think to myself, you probably have to have your review in by a certain time, so you can't put it down. But maybe it is what he says. Sometimes, do you ever feel like people who say unputdownable that they don't really mean it? I'm just being cynical. I know. I don't feel like my lighting. Again, why? Nobody cares. Okay, here's another one. A Letty Davenport novel. John Sanford, Investigator. The Investigator. Okay, John Sanford has written, I don't know, 40, 50 books, something ridiculous. And I started the first book in his Prey series and really liked it, but I haven't finished it. So, which is typical. I think partly I read a chapter or two, I'm like, where am I at with this? Do I want to keep reading it? So this was super cheap. I think this is pretty new, actually. I picked this up, 2022, at a thrift store for, I don't know, practically nothing. So I figured, all right, I'll add it to the collection. But I really do need to actually read something by John Sanford because he's putting a book out once every, 6 months. And I need to make sure I like him. Otherwise, why am I collecting him? Oh, yeah, that's right. I do that. Okay, speaking of books that I don't know if I'd ever read, but San Miguel by T.C. Boyle. I don't know. Again, why would I grab this? There's nothing about this that says, this is what you're reading right now. This is what you're interested in. But it's a gorgeous copy. It may be a first edition. I'd have to do a little research here, but that's what I do. Here's another one. This is really cool. The Lost Book of Eleanor Dare. I like the way this looks. I love the matte finish here, so it's kind of a little bit granular as you're touching, grainy. And, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it could be something I liked. What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke remains a mystery, but the women who descended from Eleanor Dare have long known that the truth lies in what she left behind, a message carved into a large stone, and the contents of her treasured commonplace book. Okay. I mean, the stone thing, that's a little weird, I'm not going to lie. Somebody's carving crap in stone again. No good deed. I actually thought this was kind of a fantasy book at first, but I don't think it is. I think On the road for the gold for the U.S. Olympic archery team, this Ellie Hudson, all she has to do is qualify for the trials in jolly old England. Okay, so apparently it's a little different than I thought. Faye Kellerman, I got this. Again, this is such a nice copy. It's gorgeous. And actually, I don't even think it's been opened yet. Although I just did. You're welcome. This is a 2022 first edition, and I have never read Faye Kellerman. So maybe I start there. But see, I don't know. This is a Decker Lazarus novel, which tells me there are others in that series. And Faye Kellerman seems to write a ton of books as well. I bought this one only because of the title, Crazy Cock by Henry Miller. All right, so I may already own this, which actually would be hilarious because Henry Miller is a pretty legendary author, Tropic of Cancer. I mean, he's respected and revered. I don't know, though, that... I don't know if this is really going to be my cup of tea. Interestingly, if you remember watching the TV show, I think it was put out on like BBC. It was the Durrells, Lawrence Durrell. I'm looking over here because I used to have all his books right there. Gerald Durrell. If you've never seen that, it's so worth your time. It is such a well done presentation of this legendary family author. Lawrence Durrell became a pretty respected writer, and the reason I'm bringing all this up is because in one of the episodes, Henry Miller, I think, shows up, and it's so they must have been contemporaries, if that is tracking properly. And last but not least, I picked this up. Well, not last but not least. Let me grab these other two here real quick. So, this was interesting. 6 stories from the border of hell, wounds. I love short story collections, so I really enjoy that. And I'm not familiar with Nathan Ballingrid, so this might be a good way to get to know the author. It looks a little creepy there, but it's apparently going to be a motion picture soon. At least that's what the sticker says, and they don't lie. This was put out, though, in 2019, so I don't even know what that is. Okay, so here's another find at a thrift store. Blood Sounders Arc Book 3. I certainly don't have 1 and 2, but it looks great. And, that's probably reason enough for me to buy a $2-3 book. This was out in 2016, so I don't know anything about Jeff Salyards, but I might need to find out. And the last but not least is this book scavenger series. Now, I just think what a cute premise. Maybe I'll read this to my daughter. I'll torture her and ask her if she wants to read this. So, the Alcatraz Escape. Jennifer Chambliss Bertman. Book Scavenger. Maybe this is the first in the series, actually. This is probably number 1. Because on the side here, this is number 3. And then the Unbreakable Code. This has got to be number 2. Yeah. So, I think these look kind of cute. And who knows? Book Scavenger. I mean, what's not to love? Look at the sleuth. He's got a book and a magnifying glass. Well, I mean, this is my childhood. I mean, a funny joke. I mean, it's certainly the case that I was led to believe from my childhood that magnifying glasses would be far more important and utilized in my adult years. Hey, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. These were my recent thrift store acquisitions, and yeah, I mean, I'm kind of pleased with my supply, my collection here. Let me just show you one other one. Maybe I already showed this. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Why not? One last one. If you've already seen it, you already seen it. Lola on Fire by Rio Yorres. And I don't know anything about this. First edition 2021. but that's another recent acquisition. So there it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, just seeing some of the crazy books that I'm finding as I plug along. I love this stuff, and I hope you do too.